The Geoboard app has been out for a long time, and it's installed on a lot of student devices here in the district. It's out for iPad, and what it basically does is it allows you to create different shapes with digital rubber bands on a pegboard. Now, like I said, this app has been around for a long time, and you may probably be aware of this. But what you might not know is that this same publisher has a lot of other free math apps that are all in the App Store that are all unique and very useful. So I wanted to take some time here to show you what each of these apps does and how to find them and get them installed on your student iPads. So if you go to the App Store and you type in Geoboard in the search bar, you'll see here the Geoboard app is the first result. If you actually tap the name of that app, so tap where it says Geoboard, now we can see the publisher is Clarity Innovations at the top here. So if you tap where it says Clarity Innovations, we can take a look at all of the other apps that this publisher has. Each of these is a fantastic resource for your students, and depending on their grade level, some of them might be better than others. Kindergarten, for example, there's some money in here, there's some shapes with tangrams, and 5th and 6th grade, there are some more intricate apps here like the fractions app and the number line, which has a lot of different kinds of integers and things like that. But each of these has its own place wherever your grade level is, and they can be used in a number of different ways. So all of these are free. I would recommend taking a look at each one, but I want to show you a quick look now at all of the other apps that are available here. So I've downloaded all of them. Let's take a look here at Numberline. All of them are from the same family, so they all have this blue toolbar at the bottom. I'd really recommend hitting this I because it tells you more specifics of how to use each app, and it's very clear and easy to understand. So you can tell your students to go here to look at it. You can also tap the About tab at the top to get access to some additional resources. But in a nutshell, you tap here, you have a bar that you can add to the number line. You can use the gray boxes to expand or go negative. And you can also change the way that your number line looks by showing negative numbers or not. Adding different decimals or fractions, you can see here that it gets very specific and customizable depending on what you want to do. Use 2 fingers to move back and forth, use 1 finger to draw, and use the pen tool to actually draw with ink. That is Numberline. Now let's take a look at Number Pieces, which is your base 10 blocks. So each time you tap a 1, you get a single block. Tap a tens row, there you go. You can go horizontal or vertical. There are hundreds, and this version of the app has grids as well, so you can have some things that the students need to fill in. You can change colors, you can change orientation, you can do all different things here at the bottom using the tools at the bottom. There's also a built-in calculator. Again, hit the I to get some different kinds of tips for how to use the app. The next app is Pieces Basic, which is basically the same thing as the one that I just showed, but it doesn't have the grids at the bottom there. So it has just a stripped down version of the base 10 blocks, which may be easier for younger students. Next is Number Rack. This is an abacus where you can drag these little balls on the pole here to create visual representations of math problems. You can hit the plus sign to add more rows. Students can move these, create a problem, and then actually draw it out. And you can see the idea there. Hit the I, get some new ideas for how to use the app. There you go. Next is Number Frames. This is great for counting and also showing visual representations of problems. So if I drag 5 out, it expands and shows me 5. There's 10. There's 5. Blue and red showing different kinds of things. Maybe blue can be positive and red could be negative. Hit this button here with the butterfly. You can change the way these little tokens look. Pretty neat stuff. The I, don't forget about that. Each of these has different information for the specific app that you're using. Next we have Pattern Shapes, which is essentially just tangrams. Students can drag shapes out. They can rotate them around. They can move them, create different shapes, combine things. There's also a patterns challenge where you can choose different outlines, and the students have to fill the outline with these shapes to create that outline. Pretty neat. There's also color changing at the bottom, You can reset the page. You can change the shapes, you can change the angles. There's a built-in calculator as always. You can draw, and then of course the information. Next up is math vocab. This may be good for older grade levels because it has a lot of different math content for vocabulary with terms. If you tap the stack in the bottom left, you can see all of the different categories. You can filter by grade level. Each category has its own set of subtopics where you can check or uncheck different items. Once you're good to go, you can hit start. It brings up the flashcard deck. You can tap the blue eye symbol to turn the cards over and hit the next or play buttons at the bottom to cycle between different terms and definitions. I love how there are pictures as well. Good stuff for math practice with different terms and vocabulary. Next up, we have the Money Pieces app. Hopefully by now you're starting to see that all these apps really look the same as far as how they're built and structured, and that there are no ads or no paid versions or anything like that. Again, that's because Clarity Innovations, that publisher, are the same publisher for all of these apps, so they all work and behave the same way, which is fantastic. All right, here's $1.10. If you don't like the grids, you can tap this button here in the bottom left to turn them off. Maybe that was a 50-cent piece. Yes, it was. Okay, there's a dime. Interesting to know here that you can also drag and select like that. So I selected a bunch of things at once by dragging a selection circle around them. There's also some neat cover-up tools here at the bottom. So if I choose this hand icon in the bottom, I can cover up some coins, tap the eye to hide or unhide it. Pretty neat stuff. You can flip things around using the flip button. And of course you can draw, use the calculator, trash things, or hit the blue eye to get to the information page. We've got one last app here, and it is fractions. So opening fractions here, there's not much to see at first, but you can add rectangular fractions or circular by hitting the little plus signs here in the bottom. You choose how many parts you'd like, hit OK, choose a color, fill it in. Okay, so 3/10. I can hit the next little button here in the bottom center, and it shows me 3/10 is my fraction. 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. And I can change the colors. I can add new fraction pieces. I can change the sizes. Let's go out of 100. Hit OK, yellow, and I can even draw with my finger here the fraction as I like it to show. So there's 99 out of 100 showing that there, and I can maybe show the fraction for this one. This would be 1 out of 100. Hitting the eye here, lots of great ideas. Don't forget to have yourself do that, and then also tell the students to go in there to learn more about the apps that they're using. All right, so those are all of the great apps available from the same publisher of Geoboard, which is Clarity Innovations. Remember how to get those. You can go to the App Store, search for Geoboard, the app, and then tap on the title of Geoboard, and then tap Clarity Innovations, and you'll see all of those apps where you can download them all. If you're in grade 3 or 4, you will have to find out which ones you want on your student iPads, and then you can go ahead and submit a tech request to have that put in. Just use the category Curriculum Software, choose iPad, and then write the specific name of the app, and it should be able to be pushed to your student iPads. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully you found something